Are you satisfied with the way it turned out?
Well, I think that the reception throughout the entire world would prove that. People who've come from Africa and all over the sphere just to see Techwood and how it's worked out. We're very proud of it.
Some people think of public housing as just another form of slum. Has Techwood turned out that way?
Well, I guess, pictures mean a lot more than 1,000 words, as you say. Just look at our background. You see this place right here. 37 years ago, it was so dreadful that the pictures I brought along will show you the results that we achieved from what was here before. Jim, that's a picture taken on this site. 37 years ago, that was on the place, the housing you see in the background was situated. And just think of the different living conditions of the people now in these houses compared with then. Here's a typical interior. That was taken right here in the Techwood area that we tore down. There's another one in back of that, I think, that's even worse. Isn't that horrible? There were open privies all over the place 37 years ago.
Well, after 37 years, public housing doesn't rate as an experimental program any longer, but it certainly still is controversial. Should there be controversy over public housing?
The controversy comes from the minority. Those who opposed it vigorously in the first place have subsided a good deal. There's those who have not been willing to be convinced by the facts. that decent, safe, and sanitary housing makes better citizens are those who don't want to believe it. They are homeowners themselves, the people who fought us tooth and nail when we got this going. You see, there is a wise axiom that there is no money in housing the poorest people well. There's always been money in housing the ill. Housing is actually more vital than schools in lots of ways. For example, England passed its first Public Housing Act in 1852, but not its first Public Education Act until 1875. And incidentally, when Techwood opened, the average gross income of the families in Techwood was $900 a year only. You can't feed and clothe your children if you got two of them, pay the doctor's bill, and have enough money left over to pay the servicing of capital for a decent, safe, and sanitary home. It's impossible. The have-nots have indicted us for the last 30 years because we haven't moved in to take care of them under the General Welfare Clause. For instance, our forebears rebelled against England not because they didn't like the form of government. We weren't anarchists. We only wanted a fair deal under the law. The rioters today only ask the same thing for themselves. They want our Constitution enforced, and we care for the needy. In 1937, our Congress pronounced it a national policy to house the poorest people well, to cut our taxes and all that if we do take care of them just the way we educate children today.
Have we fulfilled our national policy?
In housing?
Yes.
Well, Jim, we did, when I was chairman of the Housing Authority, we did 3,775 units of public housing here in Atlanta in 2 years. That's about 1940 to 42. The average of the last 30 years is only 20,000 units per year for the entire nation, and we should have not built 600,000. We should have built 6 million public housing units because there are 22 million people in slums today still that are living with their rats.